Good morning, everyone. This is Inside the Numbers here with myself and my co-host Grass Guy. We're going to be going over the numbers this morning. I didn't get a thumbnail made because this is just a last-minute thing that we tried to do here. I'm on live on YouTube and Rumble right now. So what we're going to do is we've got exhibition football that's starting off here in actually a half an hour. So we're going to go over that first game real quick here at exhibition football, just because this is the first game that starts here. It is the Detroit Lions and the Washington Redskins. So let me get your numbers here, Grass Guy, and what you're looking up here, and I'm going to give you my numbers on my side like we normally do on Smash or Pass here, and we can get this going here.
Yep, sounds good. You hear me okay?
Yep, I hear you perfect.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure. All right, so we do have some line movement in this game. Detroit Lions minus 148 down to minus 105. 67% of the tickets, 80% of the money. Washington Redskins 124 to minus 115. So they did flip through zero. They are actually the favorite now. 33% of the tickets and only 20% of the money. Detroit went from minus 3 on the spread to plus 1.5. 67% of the tickets, 46% of the money. Washington went from plus 3 to minus 1.5, obviously. 33% of the tickets, 54% of the money. Total went up a point from 35.5 to 36.5. 67% of the tickets, 83% of the money is on the over. 33% of the tickets, and only 17% is on the under.
Yeah, I'm looking at here money line wise. Detroit is at minus 109. Redskins are at minus 107. The Redskins are at plus 1, minus 112 compared to the Lions at minus 1, minus 104. That under is looking good though. That 36.5 minus 113. But I'm really this is kind of strange here with that. That minus 1. I find it odd. I mean, why even take the plus? If you like the Redskins, why even take the plus 1 at minus 112? Just play them straight money line.
Yes, that would be the play. I agree.
I'm trying to look and see why I'm not showing up on YouTube right now. So I see I'm showing up on Rumble.
That's funny because I went to Rumble and I did not see.
Yeah, if you click on my icon, I'm live there now because I know this is.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder why I'm not being shown live on YouTube right now.
Good question.
Oh, there I am. Yeah, now I'm on. All right, so we got that one taken care of. We can go over the other game. Doesn't start till 1 o'clock Eastern, so we've got some time for that one. I just want to get this one out of the way. That anybody that might like a side or total in this game, I've got nothing going on in this game. I'm looking at some of the other games going on today, so we can go. Well, shit, because I know the Yankee game starts at 1:30 Eastern, so might as well go over the next games too. I think there's 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got 3 more games in the NFL exhibition that kick off at 1 Eastern, so we might as well get through those as well. The next game that I'm showing here, I got the Atlanta Falcons and the Indianapolis Colts. Hey, what's going on? Right. Blue and Ed, they're over in the Rumble side.
Yep. All right, let's see. Wondering who the Colts are going to start today. I got to look into that. Colts open minus 135, moved up to minus 185. 70% of the tickets, 51% of the money. Falcons 114 to 154. 30% of the tickets, 49% of the money. So there's a little sharp action there. Colts minus 1.5 to minus 4.5. So that spread jumped 3 points. Here's the key, though. That's a little weird. 62% of the tickets, only 4% of the money. And they moved that spread up 3. That's a key, I think. Atlanta plus 4.5, 38% of the tickets and 96% of the money. Why did they move that 3 points in favor of the Colts with only 4% of the money on them? Something's weird there.
Yeah, and 4. Go ahead.
I was just going to read the total real quick. 37.5 down to 36.5. 47% of the tickets, 81% of the money on the over. So the bulk of the money's on the over here, and they did drop at a point. What were you going to say there?
I was to say that minus 4 on the Colts, minus 111. You got some heavy juice there if you want to take that minus 4. That money line for the Colts, minus 213.
So that's even worse than what we have
Yeah.
here.
And you said they dropped the total?
They dropped the total from 37.5 to 36.5.
And now
The
it's
tickets
heavily
are kind of split. Go
It's
ahead.
heavily
47%
juiced.
of the tickets, 81% of money. So that's
Yeah,
a lot of money.
Yeah, and that 36 to the overs at minus 115 as well. I think the only play here for me, in my opinion, is the Colts. I think we're seeing some issues going on with the Redskins right now. You've got this big ego now with Jaden Daniels with this whole thing with his jersey number at LSU. I have a feeling his ego in his head is gonna affect the Redskins this year. I'm looking at the Redskins to finish last in their division.
I think you're right about that.
All right. Let's move on to the next game that I'm showing here on my end. I have the Baltimore Ravens and the Minnesota Vikings. Let's hear what you got.
Okay. Yeah, hang on. They're a little out of order. Okay. Vikings minus 142 to minus 166. 45% of the tickets, 39% of the money. Ravens 120 to 140. 55% of the tickets, 61% of the money. Spread moved a little bit. Vikings minus 2.5 to minus 3. 18% of the tickets, 68% of the money. So there's good, sharp action sitting there. A lot of big tickets. Baltimore plus 3, 82% of the tickets, only 32% of the money. So you got 50% larger tickets on the Vikings minus 3 here. This total also dropped a point, 37.5 to 36.5. 51% of the tickets, 69% of the money on the over, 49% of the tickets, and only 31% of the money's on the under.
Yeah, that minus 3 on the Vikings side, minus 123. Minus 3, minus 123. But there is value if you like the Ravens here because at plus 3, they're at plus 105. And with that total being dropped too, it's still heavily juiced to the under, 36.5, minus 114.
Yes.
But
there is small juice on the over, so I don't know if that's
minus 102.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they dropped that thing and it's minus 114. I lean the under in this game, under that 36.5. I don't know who's playing for Baltimore today. I don't know if Lamar Jackson's even going to play. You're probably going to see a little bit more of Kyler Murray on the other side and J.J. McCarthy. It seemed like the only time the Vikings played really well last year or last weekend because they didn't do so hot with Kyler Murray. They didn't do so hot with J.J. McCarthy. But when they went on a tear is when Carson Wentz came in.
Yes.
So I think you might see a lot of more. I think they're going to have they could have a quarterback controversy in Minnesota. Don't be shocked to see Carson. Don't be shocked to see Carson Wentz move up that depth chart.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Why they brought Kyler Murray in, I'm not exactly sure. Was that just to give Carson Wentz a test? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me.
Maybe they feel that they can give Kyler Murray the Sam Darnold treatment, revamp his career.
They don't have the roster that Seattle has, though.
No, and I always thought Kyler Murray should have played baseball instead. I think he was a better baseball player than he was a football player.
100% true, Ghost. 100% true.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Is that the last 10 o'clock game? No, we got one more here. We have the Buffalo Bills and the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Browns are favored here from some reason. I even if the Bills don't play anyone, I can't see the Browns winning this game. But then again, it is preseason. Let's see. Browns minus 125 to minus 155. 31% of the tickets, 26% of the money. That's expected there. You figure the money's going to be on the Bills here. Bills plus 105 to plus 130. 69% of the tickets, 74% of the money. However, the spread did go up from minus 1.5 for Cleveland to minus 3. 21% of the tickets, only 4% of the money. Bills plus 3 to 79% of the tickets, 96% of the money. So they did move this 1.5 with only 4% of the money on Cleveland. So take note of that. Yep. Total here, 39.5 down to 37.5. 52% of the tickets, 73% of the money on the over. 48% of the tickets, and only 27% of the money's on the under.
Yeah, pay attention to something here. The Buffalo Bills at plus 3 or minus 114. That's telling you something right now. All the tickets and all the money are on the Buffalo Bills, but they're making you pay juice on it. Mm-hmm. What's that tell you? What do the books want? They would love to collect. They would love to collect all that juice.
Mm-hmm.
I like Cleveland here. Just like last night, I like the Jets. Jets shut out Jets were a shutout last night, 17-0.
They
I
shut
played
him out.
Yeah, it was 17-0 shutout.
Wow.
Yeah, I played.
Yeah, I
both
think you're right. I think this is a brown spot.
I played both the Jets last night, and I played the Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, I did. I took the Panthers too. I like that one.
And that was a
I
blowout.
forgot to add that to my picks. I know.
Yeah, I played them both last night. They both hit. Yeah, I like the Browns here. I don't really care much about the total. Totals are always, when it comes to football, college and pros, totals are always my second go-to. I always like the sides first. It's probably one of the only sports where I prefer the side over the total.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, in baseball and basketball, I prefer the totals. Hockey, I can go either way. But yeah, I like the Browns here. I lean the Browns in this spot.
Yeah,
like you said, I don't know who Buffalo's playing today. Who's Buffalo's quarterback backup? Because I bet you Josh Allen doesn't even play today.
No, he did play last week for a little while. So I don't think you're going to see him today. I think you're right.
If you like Buffalo here, maybe just think about playing Buffalo in the first half.
Yeah.
If you like Buffalo.
Right.
Because I actually don't think they're going to win this game. I think Cleveland's going to win the game.
Yeah.
Is this a 10 o'clock game too? Yeah. Okay. We have one more. The Atlanta. Oh no, we already went over that game. Sorry about that.
Yes, we did.
Yep. So the next game doesn't start till 1. So if you don't mind, just so because of some of the early games here, we can jump over to baseball really quick just so we can get those out of the way. Then we can hop. Sorry about that, chat, that we're hopping back and forth. We're just trying to get some of the early games out of the way here.
I think there's only one early game in baseball today, if I'm not mistaken. Oh no,
there's two.
Wrong. There's a few.
There's two. The Blue Jays and Yankees and the Braves and Brewers. We can knock those out real quick. Well, since we're in baseball, we might as well just knock out the whole card and we can jump back to football.
I'm fine with that.
All right, first game is I'm showing here and see on your end is the Blue Jays and the Yankees.
Yep, that's what I'm seeing also. I got some question marks in this game I want to talk about for sure. All right, so this line has shifted a little bit. Yankees open at -122. They are now -104. 49% of the tickets, 50% of the money. So there's barely any sharp action, and we are split here. Toronto went from 102 plus 102 to -104. So we have an even number on the money line here. 51% of the tickets, 50% of the money. Toronto does own the -1.5. No, I'm sorry. Yes, they were +1.5. Now they're -1.5. 44% of the tickets, 94% of the money. I'm guessing it's because Dylan Cease is on the mound.
Yep.
Yankees +1.5, 56% of the tickets, only 6% of the money. Now here is what I'm not understanding. This total went from 7 to 6.5.
Yep.
75% of the tickets, 61% of the money on the over, 25% of the tickets, and 39% of the money is on the under. Why is this total so low? Weathers gives up runs.
Yeah, they might be thinking that Weathers is going to pitch lights out today.
Maybe. What's the weather?
I mean, yesterday we saw that Brewers Braves game fall to 5.5. The final score was 2-1. It went under with ease.
Yeah,
the game was never in doubt going under. Unfortunately, I had the Braves in that game, and I thought the Braves were going to tie it up there at the end, but they just couldn't do it, and that's bad on me.
Both team totals are heavily juiced to the under.
Yeah. Let's go over the totals first. The 6.5 to the overs at -108, 104 to the under expected. But the team totals: Blue Jays 3.5 to the under at -132. Yankees team total 3.5 to the under at -141. That's only 6 runs.
It is. What I'm worried about, I'm looking here. This algorithm has 8.8 runs in this game. Do you have a projection on this game?
They had that many runs scored yesterday too. They had like 8-point-something runs to be scored in that Brewers Braves game yesterday too.
And that didn't even work out either.
That wasn't even close.
Good point.
Yeah, I lean the under in this game.
Yeah, I think you have to.
Just based on those team totals. Those team totals are a dead giveaway.
They are.
And because you look at the other side on the over. 3.5 to the over for the Blue Jays is a +113. For the Yankees, it's a +121.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So I lean the under in this spot.
Yeah, I think you have to. All right.
Next game I'm showing for the early game here is the Braves and Brewers again.
Yep.
And we have
All
another low total here.
We do. Okay. Let's see. Milwaukee minus 168 to minus 158. So they came down 10. 74% of the tickets, 88% of the money. Atlanta 139 to 147. 26% of the tickets and only 12% of the money. Milwaukee minus 1.5, 63% of the tickets, 73% of the money. Plus 1.5 for Atlanta, 37% of the tickets, only 27% of the money. Total went from 8 to 7.5. 44% of the tickets, only 13% of the money's on the over. 56% of the tickets and 87% of the money's on the under. So they did move this down with the money this time.
Yeah, that's a caution flag to me with all that money on the under. I know everything shows signs for the under. It is slightly juiced to the over, though, with that 7.5 and minus 108, minus 104 to the under. Both team totals are juiced to the under. Braves 3.5 to the under at minus 124. Brewers 4.5 to the under at minus 139. On the Braves side, though, the 3.5 to the over is only a plus 106. Something to think about there with that, with the Braves team total wide on that side. On the Brewers side, I'm not too worried about because it's 4.5 to the over plus 118.
Right.
But that 106 on the Braves side is kind of a little red flag to me.
Yeah.
I lead the under in this game, but that's just way too much money on that under for my blood. So this game's a pass.
Yes. Yeah, I would have to say so. I don't like the side here either. So, yeah, I would have to say so.
Yeah, what's interesting, too, is that plus 1.5 on the Braves side is only at minus 152. So that kind of keeps me away from the Braves here. If that thing was up around 190, then I might be looking at the Braves here.
Right.
But yeah, I don't like that 1.5 there at that only at minus 152. So yeah, this game's a stay away from me.
I'm with you on that, my friend.
All right, then we start getting to the game to start at 4 Eastern. Next game I'm showing here is the Nationals and Marlins.
Yes, I'm seeing that as well. Let me just refresh this screen real quick. Okay. All right, let's see what we got here. The Fish minus 186, down slightly to minus 175. 76% of the tickets, 77% of the money. Washington 153 to 163. 24% of the tickets, 23% of the money. Miami minus 1.5. 66% of the tickets, 96% of the money. Washington plus 1.5, 34% of the tickets, and only 4% of the money. This total is worth looking into, I think, Ghost, because we're at 7.5 and it has not moved. I know it's a later start. 76% of the tickets, 93% of the money is on the over.
Yeah, I was looking at this game too as a later game today. That 7.5 to the over is at minus 110, minus 102 to the under. Team totals, though. Nationals 3.5 to the under at minus 135. Marlins team total 4.5 to the under at minus 128. I'm with you right there, Grass Guy. I lean the under in this game.
Yeah, there's too much money on this to not go that way with the money on the over. Don't be surprised if this comes down to 7 somewhere along the line.
I think we got to get some more juice on that under because the under is only at minus 102. I think they've got to bring more juice on that under in order to drop it down to 7.
I would have to agree.
Because it hasn't hit that threshold where it's like at around minus 130 on the under or something like that, and then they'll start thinking about dropping it. Right now, they're trying to attract people to grab that 7.5 over. That's why there's juice on the over. So I think the books are trying to attract people to take that over, and they are. But yeah, I think this game's going under the total. We know. The Nationals they're not the team that they were earlier in the season where they're just cranking up runs in the game. They only do that when their bullpen gets in the game. But I think they could hold them in check here with the Marlins. I haven't seen who's pitching today. Didn't even get that far. So I don't know what the pitching matchup looked like. And you know what? Because I have it right here. I can tell you real quick who is pitching today. Let me get to that game here. We have Irwin, who's pitching for the Nationals, 5.8 ERA. And Yuri Perez is pitching for the Marlins at 3.23 ERA. obviously, Perez has got a pretty decent ERA there, 3.23. Jake Irvin is right in the middle of the road there, but there's a reason why that totals at 7.5.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He's only got 71 innings pitched, Jake Irvin. He's 2-7. I'm guessing this is a bullpen guy. 66 hits in 71 innings, so he's less than a hit per inning. 72 strikeouts, so he's right there. 31 bases on balls and 12 home runs in 66 innings. Yuri Perez only has 87 innings pitched himself. Or no, I'm sorry, wrong column. 122 innings, so he's got a lot more under his belt. But he's also 6-9, so I'm thinking these guys are bullpen guys.
Yeah,
I would have to look into it a little more. If you look back, there's only one game in the last 6, or 2 games for Marlins have been under the total the last 2 games. Then they went over the total a couple, but the Nationals have been under in like 6 straight games. So they're not scoring runs whatsoever.
No,
this should be an under spot.
Yeah, I'm with you right there. I believe this is an under spot. Still got plenty of time for this game to see any kind of last minute line changes on this game. But yeah, I'm with you right there. I believe this game is an under spot.
Yeah.
Next game I'm showing Cardinals at Phillies.
Yep. So far on this site, I'm seeing to be determined for the pitcher for St. Louis, but I'm pretty sure if I go over to another site, I can find that. But let me read this out first. Philly minus 136, moved out to minus 147. They did not cover the 1.5 last night, damn it. 72% of the tickets, 75% of the money. St. Louis 113 to 137, 28% of the tickets, 25% of the money. Philly minus 1.5, 55% of the tickets, 92% of the money. St. Louis with the plus 1.5, 45% of the tickets, and only 8% of the money. This total is sitting at 9. Pretty split money-wise here. 61% of the tickets, 55% of the money on the over, 39% of the tickets, and 45% of the money's on the under.
Yeah, the under 9 is juiced at minus 114 to the under. Team total, Cardinals 3.5 to the over at minus 138. Philly slightly juiced to the under 4.5 at minus 109. This game very well might be a Cardinals spot. It's at 1.5 minus 160 to the Cardinals. So we've got some heavy juice there on that plus 1.5. And just with that team total for the Cardinals at minus 138 at 3.5. I actually like the Cardinals here in this spot. As for the total wise, I think they could go either way. They are heavily leaning the under in here. And I could see the game going under the total too. But as for the side, I actually like the Cardinals here.
Yeah. Andre Palante is going for the Cardinals. So I guess it was a last minute. 12-6, 3.57 ERA. Yeah, I you know what? I think I lean that way myself. Something I'm going to check for later, that's for sure. I do lean that way. It's not a strong lean for me, but I am leaning that direction. I mean, they put up a fight yesterday.
Yeah.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it either they won it in the bottom of the 9th, the Phillies, or in the 10th. I can't remember if they went. I think it went to extra innings.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But I just know I had Philly minus 1.5, and they didn't cover. They only won by 1. So it is what it is.
Next game I'm showing here is the. I don't know why that game's showing next, but anyway. Now we're starting to get into the 7:00 Eastern games. Angels at Texas Rangers.
Okay. Let's see. Texas minus 175 came down slightly to minus 160. 81% of the tickets, 96% of the money. I don't know who Cody Bradford is. LA 144 to 149, 19% of the tickets, only 4% of the money. Texas minus 1.5, 63% of the tickets, 39% of the money. LA plus 1.5, 38% of the tickets, 61% of the money. This total sits at 8. Tickets are pretty split, but the money's way off. 55% of the tickets, 93% of the money on the over, 45% of the tickets, and only 7% of the money's on the under in this one. Let's see.
Yeah, we got 8 to the over at minus 111. Angels team total 3.5 to the under at -113. Rangers team total 4.5 to the under at -120. But yet they're charging heavy juice on that over, probably because that's where the bulk of the money is going, is on that over. So they're going to be charging that over price. But with those team totals, that's a giveaway to me that this game's going to go under the total.
Yeah, like you said, they got that juice on the over there.
Yeah, that's because the money's hitting the over. But the team totals are a giveaway to the under.
I agree 100%. That is definitely something I'll be leaning on for sure. We'll take a look at that later as well. I like that a lot. All right, let's see.
All right, next game I'm showing here is the I skipped the game here. Sorry about that. Okay. The Rays and the Orioles. But it starts at the same time.
Yeah, there's a few of them that do. So that we might be out of order a little bit depending on which site we're looking at. Okay. Tampa, -131, came down slightly to -124. 75% of the tickets, 93% of the money. Baltimore, 109 to 115, 25% of the tickets, only 7% of the money. Now, I'm just going to say right off the bat here, this line is pretty tight to have 93% of the money on one side. Tampa, -1.5, 36% of the tickets, 14% of the money. Baltimore, +1.5, 64% of the tickets, 86% of the money. Total sits at 8. Another kind of split ticket, but a lot of money on one side. 56% of the tickets, 95% of the money on the over, 44% of the tickets, and only 5% is on the under.
Yeah, the under is slightly juiced at -109, -103 to the over. Team total Rays under 4.5 at -133. Orioles slightly juiced to the over 3.5 at -109, -107 to the under. I've got nothing on this game. I don't like how I don't like how the numbers are lined up. Although the Orioles are +1.5 or -149, which is interesting here. This very well could be an Orioles spot in this game.
Well, that's what I was thinking too, Ghost, because like I said, on that money line alone, I think they're trying to trick you here because they brought Tampa down from -131 to -124. And again, 3/4 of the tickets and 93% of the money. But Baltimore, they went from 109 to 115. That should have went to 105 or 103. So this could be I think their books are trying to bait you a little bit here because they did bring the Tampa line down with all that money on them. So this very well could be a Baltimore spot. I'd like to see what this line does later on for sure. But this could be a spot for the Orioles.
Yep, I'm with you. All right, next game here is Mets, White Sox.
Yeah. All right, let's see. This line is very short as well. White Sox -117 to -109. 61% of the tickets, 86% of the money. Mets -103 to +102. 39% of the tickets, 14% of the money. White Sox -1.5 were -1.5. They are now +1.5. That makes no sense. 72% of the tickets, 53% of the money. Mets on the -1.5, 28% of the tickets, 47% of the money. Another total that's stuck at 8. 63% of the tickets, 99% of the money on the over. A lot of weird signals in this game. You have anything with the total here? What do you got?
Yeah, let me check here real quick. The 8.5 is juiced to the under, -114. Mets 3.5 to the over, -132. White Sox 3.5 to the over at -137. Seems like we got a lot of people hitting the under, and that numbers are adding right up to 8. Guys, this is tricky here.
Yeah,
but it's the team totals are giving it away, but the number lands right on 8. This might be an under spot.
Well, I definitely want to see if they move this line because they have not moved it with 99% of the money on the over. So I do want to check this.
Yeah, that's something to look at later.
Yes. So I'm writing that down with that kind of percentage because I want to see where that percentage goes and what they do with it because that might be able to tell us something. As of now, it's a major fucking stay away from me. I just don't like it. That's a major stay away. Too many weird signals. Let's see. All right.
Let's see. Next game I've got here, Athletics Astros.
That's what I thought. Okay. All right. Let's see. This is a massive line. Houston minus 246 down to minus 232. 91% of the tickets, 83% of the money. A's 199 to 214. 9% of the tickets, 17% of the money. Houston minus 1.5. 74% of the tickets, 85% of the money. A's plus 1.5, 26% of the tickets, and 15% of the money. Another one here, Ghost. We're finding a pattern. Total is at 8. No movement. Tickets are split 50-50. 95% of the money on the over, 5% of the money on the under. I wonder if Houston's so heavily favored because Hunter Brown's on the mound.
Yeah, it could be. The total 8 under minus 111. Team total wise, Athletics 3.5 to the under at minus 147. Astros 4.5 to the over at minus 112. Slightly juiced to the under at minus 104. Boy, Astros minus 226. Oof. Might as well take them on the run line at minus 1.5, minus 102 if you like the Astros.
Yeah. I'm seeing 6.69 runs. Accuracy 51.6% across 277 samples, so it's not a huge sample. What I am seeing is Lopez for the A's, 88 innings pitched, 46 walks. Hunter Brown, 68 innings pitched, 40 walks. So I'd be careful with the under in this game because the way they're putting people on base, you may want to shy away from that.
Yeah.
Walks will fucking kill you. And if they're I mean, a walk every other inning, that's not good. So I'd be careful with that. To me, this game's a fucking automatic stay away.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't like it at all.
No, I'm in agreement with you here. Pirates at Dodgers.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So we're not in the same. I gotta find that one.
Sorry about that. It's just the way my stuff's set up over here.
Yeah, no. It's fine. 100%. It's fine. No big deal. Who the hell's pitching for the Dodgers? Screwball's pitching. Okay, let's see. Minus 267 at the open for the Dodgers, slightly down to minus 253. 94% of the tickets, 73% of the money. Pittsburgh, 214 to 233, 6% of the tickets, 27% of the money. Dodgers minus 1.5, 86% of the tickets, 95% of the money. Pitt plus 1.5, 14% of the tickets, only 5% of the money. Ooh, totals at 7.5. 70% of the tickets, 97% of the money on the over, 30% of the tickets, and only 3% on the under. So we got a lot of money on these fucking overs today.
Yeah, 7.5 to the unders at minus 108, minus 104 to the over. Team total, Pirates, 2.5 to the over at minus 128. Dodgers, 4.5 to the under at minus 110.
Pirates are on a little tear here.
Yeah, they did lose last night, but they kept that game close. I think the final was 4-2. And Yamamoto pitched. Yeah, the Pirates did. I think Yamamoto pitched last night.
Yeah, I believe he did.
Now you got Screwball pitching today.
Yep. Jared Jones, I don't know who that is. He doesn't have a whole lot of innings pitched. I don't know. You think this is an under spot?
Something to keep an eye on. You got plenty of time before this game starts. Something to keep an eye on. I wouldn't jump on anything right now. We'll see how the team totals jump around between now and first pitch. Yeah, I wouldn't jump on anything right now. Just pay attention to the team, especially the Dodgers team total, because it is minus 106 to the 4.5 to the over. So yeah, I wouldn't jump on anything right now, and pay attention to that total too. That's 7.5 because it is slightly juiced to the over. See if we can have any kind of movement here once the money starts coming in.
Yeah. Actually, I'm seeing here that Dodgers won 5-4 in 10 innings.
Hmm. Oh, it was 5-4 and 10. Oh, okay. All right. So
Yep.
I missed that because I was at that wedding last night. I thought
Right.
so pardon me.
Right. I just want to see real quick if there's anything for the predictor for this one. No strong signals on that one at all. Okay. All right. What's next, sir?
Next game on the ticket for tonight, I'm showing Tigers at Royals. Royals came through last night.
Yes, they did.
That
Yes,
was
they.
beautiful. Yeah, because I actually dropped a load on the Royals last night.
Okay.
So that
Yeah, I wanted to put more on it too. I was just a little worried. I should have.
yeah, you know a game I also dropped a load on twice last night. I had because thanks to Kalshi, I had the Rays and the Orioles under 8.5 runs because Kalshi the number was 8, but they don't do the odd
Right.
numbers or the
Right.
even numbers. So I had 8.5. So when they put up those runs in the first, I kept thinking, oh great, I'm gonna friggin' lose this bet. It jumped up to 10.5. I added more on the 10.5, and they both hit.
Damn. Who's living better than you? That's beautiful. You got to love that. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. Kansas City minus 112, slightly down to minus 104, 54% of the tickets, but only 27% of the money. Detroit minus 108 to minus 104, so they're both even on the money line. 46% of the tickets, 73% of the money. Detroit minus 1.5, 20% of the tickets, 55% of the money. KC plus 1.5, 80% of the tickets, 45% of the money. Another one with a lot of money on the over. 8.5, no movement so far. 39% of the tickets, 93% of the money on the over. 61% of the tickets, and only 7% is on the under.
Replying to a chat, Beardo wants us to look at the New York Giants after when we get back into football. So,
Okay.
so we're still on the Tigers, right? So 8.5 to the over and under is both at minus 106. Tigers 4.5 to the under minus 131. Royals 3.5 to the over at minus 139. Do we have another Royal spot here?
Maybe.
The only thing I don't like here when it comes to the Royals, the Tigers at plus 1.5 minus 220. That's the only thing I don't like.
Ooh, yeah. Don't like it either. So the algorithm loves the under in this 52.9% across 289 samples. That's very, very acceptable. 1.1 run edge between the AI and the books. The books agree with the same side, 52%. So they like it. They like the under in this game. So I'm going to
Yeah.
keep an eye on that for later for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I'd definitely keep an eye on, but I'd also keep an eye on that minus 220 on the Tigers because
Yeah.
right now that screams Tigers,
Yes, it does.
especially
Ooh,
when the actual money line, according to Pinnacle, they're both at minus 104.
right. Right.
So yeah, I'm looking at that screams Tigers to me.
It does.
I'm actually you know what? While we're still on this game, I'm going to jump down and see what the team total is at 3.5 for the Tigers. 3.5 for the Tigers. If you go over 3.5, it's at minus 154.
Holy shit.
So 154, 139. That game might go over that game might go over the total.
You might be right. You might be right. I'm seeing projection of 4 runs on the nose for Detroit.
Well, that would explain.
KC 3.4.
Yeah, that explains the team total though, right there for the Tigers. That lands right on 4. If you go under 4.5 over 3.5, that lands right on the number 4.
Yep. Exactly. All right. Next game.
Yep. We have the Chicago Cubs at the Seattle Mariners. Who won that game last night? Because I know I picked the Cubs last night as a free pick. I can't even remember who won it.
Honestly, I don't remember. I can find out though.
Yeah, I don't remember who won that game. Oh,
Cubs
Redskins
6-5 in 10 innings.
Awesome. That was our free pick.
There you go.
Whoa. Redskins up 7-0 on the Lions with only 2 minutes or 1 minute in the game. Must have been a kickoff return.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Only 1 minute in the game.
Jesus, they started early today.
Yeah.
Okay. Cubs at Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle minus 119 came down slightly to minus 112. 40% of the tickets, 37% of the money. Chicago minus 101 to plus 104. 60% of the tickets, 63% of the money. Chicago is the minus 1.5 for some reason. 37% of the tickets and 81% of the money. Seattle plus 1.5, 63% of the tickets, only 19% of the money. Total sits at 7.5. 57% of the tickets, 8% of the money on the over, 43% of the tickets, and 92% on the under. Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, the under 7.5 minus 112. Team total. Here we go again. Cubs minus 115 to the over 3.5. Mariners 3.5 to the over at minus 116. We got 8 runs there. And here's the thing that total at 7.5 to the over, even money. So they're making you pay some juice for that under. I like the over.
Yeah, I do too. I would have to agree. Let's see. Seattle 3.8 runs projected. Where are the Cubs? 3.2. That brings it under, but I don't know. Well, yeah, slightly. I think you're right. I think judging by those numbers where the juice is, I think the over's the play. I definitely do.
Next game here is the Cincinnati Reds at the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Okay, here we go. Arizona minus 163 came down slightly to minus 165. 86% of the tickets, 99% of the money. Wow. Cincy 135 to 153, 14% of the tickets. You guessed it, 1% of the money. Arizona minus 1.5, 46% of the tickets, 96% of the money. Cincy plus 1.5, 54% of the tickets, and only 4% of the money. Total sits at 8 with no movement. 45% of the tickets, 82% of the money's on the over. 55% of the tickets, and only 18% of the money's on the under.
8 to the over, minus 109, minus 103 to the under. Team totals 3.5 to the under, minus 121 for the Reds. 4.5 to the under, minus 120 for the Diamondbacks. Boy, that looks like an under spot.
It does. It does. I am seeing 8.58 projected runs, but then again, it's just a projection. It's just too close to the original number. It's going to be a stay away from me. I don't like this game.
Yeah, the only thing I like about it is the under.
Yeah, but I'm not sold on it yet. I'd have to wait to see. Again, these are the late games. They don't start for hours, so. Did we miss a 7:15 game? Did we cover Giants Red Sox?
No, we haven't covered that yet. That's that jumped. Yep, you're right. Yep, Giants and Red Sox. Let's hit that right now.
Okay, that's what I thought. All right, this one's heavy favorite here on the Red Sox. Minus 219 to minus 204. 91% of the tickets, 85% of the money. San Fran 179 to 189. 9% of the tickets, 15% of the money. They're going to have to update this. Something's wrong here. Boston minus 1.5, 90% of the tickets, 100% of the money. I'm not even going to read the other side. This total did drop 8.5 to 8. 78% of the tickets, 75% of the money on the over, 22% of the tickets, and 25% of the money is on the under. Let's see.
Yeah, the under 8 minus 107, 105 to the over. Giants team total 3.5 to the under at minus 135. Red Sox team total 4.5 to the over at minus 113. And that Red Sox at minus 1.5 is only a plus 106 too.
So I think both of these are either were injured or something because Patrick Sandoval for the Red Sox only has 34 innings pitched this year. And Blade Tidwell, whatever his name is, only has 27 innings pitched this year. That tells me that this game's a fucking stay away because I wouldn't know what to expect here.
Yeah, this looks like a stay away to me too. I was looking at the total earlier today as an underplay, but I think it's going to be a pass.
I think you're right.
There's better games on the schedule today.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. All right.
Okay, let me get back down here. Sorry about if I skipped over that game. We did that game. We did the Tigers and the Royals. We did the Cubs and the Mariners, Diamondbacks. Okay, Indians at Rockies.
Mm. Yep.
Very high total again.
Yes, it is. You know what? Real before I read this out, let's see. 10-mile-an-hour wind blowing out. 50% chance of rain in this game. Cleveland minus 142 down to minus 136. 90% of the tickets, 93% of the money. Colorado 118 to 127. 10% of the tickets, 7% of the money. Cleveland minus 1.5, 53% of the tickets, 97% of the money. Colorado 1.5, 47% of the tickets, and 3% of the money. Now, 11 is the total with no movement so far. 29% of the tickets, 91% of the money on the over. 71% of the tickets and only 9% is on the under. I'm seeing 9.67 runs for this. I'm going to run this through the old simulator while you read out those numbers.
The 11.5 to the under, minus 112. Team totals are both juiced to the over. Indians 5.5 to the over at minus 123. Rockies 4.5 to the over at minus 129. That still comes out under 11 runs.
It does. Okay, yeah. So this sounds good.
I like 11 under 11.
I do too. Here we go. Books price it at 53.91% for the over. Or excuse me, for the under versus 50.73 for the over, both pointing in the same direction. Odds are at minus 117. Here's the biggest thing. Accuracy at 56.3% across 295 samples. So that is a very strong track record that the model has here. Everything lines up. You just have to pay attention maybe to the weather because there's a 48% chance of rain. You might want to look at that closer to game time. But as of now, this one definitely checks all of the boxes to go under 11. I know it's in Coors Field. There is a slight wind blowing in. It's only 10 miles an hour. But if there is some rain there, that could knock the ball down a little bit as well.
Yeah. I agree.
So, I definitely – that's my favorite play of the day so far. Unfortunately, it's a million hours away.
But, yeah. Under 11? Yeah, yep. I'm with you. Yep, I'm with you there. Let me guess here. Not guess here. The last game on the schedule today, then we get back to the NFL. Twins at Padres.
Fucking Twins blew it for me last night. Bastards. I can't blame them. All right, let's see what we got. I want to check the pitchers real quick. This is way out. Casey Mize is pitching for the Padres. That's why this line is like this. Actually, it came down. All right, so this is intriguing. Padres minus 169 came down to minus 135. 85% of the tickets, 94% of the money. Minnesota 139 to 126. 15% of the tickets, 6% of the money. So this line is definitely moving against the money. San Diego minus 1.5, 42% of the tickets, 96% of the money. Minnesota plus 1.5, 58% of the tickets, only 4% of the money. Here's something different, Ghost. This total went up. 8 to 8.5, 56% of the tickets, 53% on the over, 44% of the tickets, and 47% on the under. So they're pretty split there, but it did go up. Why did it go up with the money pretty split?
Yeah, 8.5 to the under is at minus 111. Twins team total 3.5 to the over at minus 120. Padres team total 4.5 to the under at minus 125. Interesting.
Casey Mize has not been pitching as well as I thought. Now that I'm looking at his season stats here.
Yeah, exactly.
Could this be a Minnesota spot? Even though I thought it was
that plus 1.5 is at minus 165. So this might be a twin spot.
I think that goes up again because what we've been seeing recently, as I've been reading these numbers out, if one team moves down and the other team is supposed to move up, they don't. They were both moving them down. This is the opposite, though, because like I said, San Diego minus 169 down to minus 135, so they're moving that towards Minnesota, but they're also going that way, 139 to 126. So they're going closer to the favorite when San Diego's going further away. So it's actually lining up, and with only 15% of the tickets and 6% of the money on Minnesota, going to want to watch this line. This comes down to like plus 116 or plus 110. You may want to hammer Minnesota here.
Yep, I'm with you.
So we're going to want to keep an eye on that for sure.
And that's going to do it for Major League Baseball. Let's jump back over to the NFL and finish off that card there with the late games here. Okay, the first late game here that I'm showing will be the New Orleans Saints at the Los Angeles Rams.
Okay. All right, let's see. Saints minus 135, down slightly to minus 125. 27% of the tickets, 25% of the money. Rams 114 to 105, 73% of the tickets, 75% of the money. Saints minus 1.5, 23% of the tickets, 37% of the money. Rams plus 1.5, 77% of the tickets, and 63% of the money. Total has come down from 37.5 to 36.5. 45% of the tickets, 28% on the over, with 55% of the tickets and 72% of the money on the under. So they did move this down with the under. I don't know if I have anything in this game at all.
Yeah, the Saints minus 117. They're minus 129 on the money line. Rams at plus 110. This looks like a Saints spot to me.
Yeah, I could see that. I have no interest, but it does seem like it could be. I don't know. Like I said, I have nothing in this game whatsoever, but it could be. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, based on the numbers, the money here. Did you read the money line off? Because I got the money line right here. Okay,
go ahead.
Yeah, the money line at 27.25 for the Saints at minus 125. But yet all the money and the tickets are on the Rams. Yeah, I like the Saints here. I'd take the Saints at minus 125 right on the money line. Screw the 1.5. Take them on the money line.
There you go.
I think
you're right.
Okay, here's the game that Beardo wants to talk about right now. Giants, Dolphins.
Wow. This is going to be a shit show.
Yeah, this game is interesting here.
It is. Giants open at minus 135. They moved up to minus 162. 69% of the tickets, 85% of the money. Dolphins 114 to 136. 31% of the tickets, only 15% of the money. Giants went from minus 2.5 on the spread to minus 3.5. 46% of the tickets, 87% of the money. Dolphins plus 3.5, 54% of the tickets, and only 13% of the money. Total came down a point also, 37.5 to 36.5. 46% of the tickets, 29% on the over, 54% of the tickets, and 71% is on the under. I wish I can get a predictor for preseason. I don't have it.
Yeah, the 3.5 for the Dolphins, plus 3.5, minus 113. That's a lot of juice taking the Dolphins at plus 3.5. The total 37 to the under is at minus 116. I'll be honest with you. I have no interest in this game.
No. I don't like betting on my Giants during the season. Never mind fucking preseason.
As a Giants fan myself, I think from here on out, I know I took them last week in the preseason, but from here on out, I'm never going to wager on the Giants games because I'm too much of a fan of the Giants to want to sit there and bitch and complain while I got a wager on them. I'd rather just enjoy the game and then bitch and complain of the way they played instead of bitching and complain if I lost money on them.
100% agree, my friend. 100%.
Because at least on another game, if I've got money on the game, I don't need to be watching it. I mean, yeah, I scoreboard watch through Cal Sheet usually, just to look that way. But I don't need to be like in front of the TV watching the game. Giants games, I do. And I always tell my wife that, like, if the Giants aren't playing, I don't necessarily have to be home to watch football. I can turn on Red Zone or something like that and just watch, all the highlights and things like that while the games are going on. But when it comes to the Giants, I've got to watch the Giants play.
Agree.
So, next game here tonight is the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots.
All right. So this line's a little weird. Also, this could be an Eagles spot just by looking at it real quick. Let's go through it. Patriots minus 120 down to minus 108. 75% of the tickets, 97% of the money. Eagles opened at even money. They are now minus 112. 25% of the tickets and only 3% of the money. Eagles were plus 1.5. They are now minus 1.5. 25% of the tickets, 22% of the money. Patriots plus 1.5, 75% of the tickets, and 78% of the money. Total came down 2 points, 37.5 to 35.5. 57% of the tickets, 61% of the money on the over, 43% of the tickets, and 39% of the money on the under. Two quick things here, Ghost, before you read anything out. One, only 3% of the money on a minus 112 favorite. Something's weird there. And the other thing is, why did they bring this down 2 points with only 61% of the money on the over? Are they trying to entice more money on the over?
Yep, good question. That is a really good question here. As for the spread, Eagles plus 1, minus 118. On the money line, Eagles are at minus 110, while the Patriots on the money line are at minus 106. This sure in the heck looks like a Philadelphia Eagles spot here to me. 36.5 to the under is at minus 114. I like the Philadelphia Eagles here.
I think you do have to keep an eye on this money line, goes to see where it moves.
Yep.
But I have a feeling mine already moved to minus 112, so it moved up 1 more point. But I think that's what you need to do is see what if that keeps moving in that same direction and the Patriots move down to almost plus money, I think you definitely have an Eagles spot here, especially with only a quarter of the tickets and 3% of the money. Again, there's just way too much money on the Patriots here for them to be moving the Eagles line into the favorite section.
Yeah, I'm with you there. All right, next game here is the Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals.
Okay. Another one that flipped through zero on both sides. Bengals open at minus 130. They are now plus 102. 48% of the tickets, 11% of the money. Bears plus 110 to minus 112. 52% of the tickets, 89% of the money. Bears, this flipped through zero also. They were plus 1.5. They are now minus 1.5. 65% of the tickets, 98% of the money. Bengals plus 1.5, 35% of the tickets, only 2% of the money. Whoa. This total came down 4 points, 40.5 to 36.5. 56% of the tickets, 82% of the money on the over, 44% of the tickets, and 18% is on the under. That's a pretty large drop there with that much money on the over.
Yeah, it is, because that 37.5 is at minus 120. Interesting. The Bears at minus 1.5 is minus 107. Bengals minus 109 at plus 1.5. Bears still at minus 124 on the money line. Bengals at plus 106. I lean the Bengals here at that plus 1.5. Maybe even on the money line at plus 106. Because we know a lot of times in the NFL, sometimes point spreads don't even come into a factor. Either the team that's favored is going to cover that number, or the dog wins the game outright.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I like the Bengals here.
I agree. All right. Well, we got two more on the card. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, let's Bengals. We have the Chiefs and the Buccaneers.
Wait till you hear these fucking numbers, Ghost. My goodness. All right. Chiefs opened at minus 125. They are now plus 185. 32% of the tickets, 70% of the money. Tampa Bay Buccaneers opened at plus 105. They are now minus 225. Both of these things have moved over 200 points. 68% of the tickets, 30% of the money. Chiefs were a plus 3. Now they are moved out to plus 5.5. 52% of the tickets, 21% of the money. Tampa Bay Bucks minus 5.5. 48% of the tickets, 79% of the money. This total's gone up, however, 36.5 to 37.5. 47% of the tickets, 83% on the over, 53% of the tickets, and 17% on the under. Do you dare take the Bucks minus 5.5 here?
Yeah, they're minus 112. Pinnacle's got them at minus 5, minus 112. The under is slightly, or the over slightly juiced at minus 110. I think the only play here is the Buccaneers, to be honest with you. I don't know who the Chiefs are playing today at their quarterback situation.
Sounds like someone out of high school. I mean, he's, like I said, 210-point line movement to a 230-point line movement for the Bucs.
Yeah, I wonder if they're starting Justin Fields.
Or even not even him. Who knows? But yeah, obviously, I don't think anyone's playing this game. Well, I would check the rosters in this one, guys, but that's a lot of points for a fucking preseason game to swing those lines like that.
Yeah. All right, next game on the schedule here. Dallas Cowboys, Arizona Cardinals. This one's interesting too.
Okay. Cardinals minus 125 at the open to minus 118. 32% of the tickets, 23% of the money. Dallas Cowboys 105 to minus 102. 68% of the tickets, 77% of the money. Cardinals minus 1.5. 36% of the tickets, 56% of the money. Dallas Cowboys plus 1.5. 64% of the tickets, and only 44% of the money. Total went from 37.5 to 38.5. 58% of the tickets, 43% of the money on the over, 42% of the tickets, and 57% on the under.
The Dallas Cowboys are plus 1, minus 111. Total 37.5 to the over at minus 126. That's a low line at that plus 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I'm sure everybody's jumping on the Cowboys because they're a dog against the Cardinals. I think you're going to see, I don't even know if Dak Prescott's playing in the game, but I can almost guarantee you that you're going to see a lot of Carson Beck today. And Gardner. And is it Gardner Minshew's a backup there too?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I don't know how much Jacoby Brissett you're going to see. I like the Cardinals here.
Yeah.
In fact, I like the Cardinals on the money line at minus 115.
Yeah. I got a prediction. Carson Beck is the starter by week 8.
Week 8? I'm guessing he could be the starter day 1.
You think so?
Quite possibly. He's
Didn't they just give Jacoby Brissett a new contract?
Yeah, who's ever going to play better?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Do we have one or two? Yeah, last game on the schedule for today is the Seattle Seahawks and the Tennessee Titans. This is another interesting one here too, if you look at it.
Yeah, I would have to say, looking at football here, I'm leaning on the Tampa Bay Bucks for sure. I'm leaning on the Eagles, and I think that's all I'm going to look at in football today. I'm not. I don't want to go crazy on these games as much as I want to sit there and just fucking bet football. I can't. I don't want to be. You know. I don't want to mess around. That being said, I've got a lot to look at with baseball. Hopefully, I'll have my picks up soon. Like I said, we don't. What first game's at 1:15, 1:30?
Yeah, 1:30, the Yankees and Blue Jays.
Yeah, I won't be betting on that game anyway. But yeah, I'll make sure that I have everything up before the next game after that, which I think is 2:10.
Yeah, I have not looked at any WNBA today, so and those games actually don't start till 7 o'clock Eastern. So I got plenty of time for those games. So I haven't looked at anything there. So I've got no opinion yet on any WNBA right now. So right now, I'm just strictly focusing on the NFL today. That's probably my number one focus. Then baseball. Then I'll take a look at the WNBA later on today. So that's it for right now. I am going to give you guys a free pick in the NFL. Yeah, let me get to my schedule here. What I was looking at. So I can get you that free play. I'm going to probably make a standalone video on it as well. Yeah, I'm going to give you my free pick today in the NFL exhibition, Cincinnati Bengals over the Chicago Bears. Take the Cincinnati Bengals. There's your free pick for today. I'm going to make a standalone video as soon as we're done here with this live stream, since that game starts at 4 Eastern, so we can get it up and loaded. But there's your free play for today, Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, there we go. All right, I'm leaning on Twins plus 126 right now. Detroit KC under 8.5. Mets White Sox under 8. Angels Texas under 8 as well, and maybe the Nats and Marlins under 7.5. Like I said, those are just leans for now. I'll have my picks up before 2:00. So it's actually 12:40 my time. So I'm going to go get some lunch, and then I'm going to go over these things, and I'll have my picks out within, I'd say, before 2 p.m. Eastern on locals and on X.
Yep. Appreciate this. It was just a last minute thing here after the show with Cricket this morning, our college football show. This was a last minute thing just because I was available and Grass Guy was available to do the Inside the Numbers right now. So we kind of give our breakdown of the exhibition football along with Major League Baseball, guys. We appreciate everybody in the chat on the Rumble side. And Beardo was the only one over there on the YouTube side. Appreciate him popping in. And we've given him a breakdown of the Giants and Dolphins game. So appreciate all you guys being here. I will be on the round table tomorrow morning on Will's show. Are you going to be on there too, Grass Guy?
It's possible. Yeah, I may be on there. Yeah.
Okay, you got anything else to add to today's show?
No. I think we covered a lot of good stuff. It was great. I love the college football show we did this morning with Cricket also. So things are going in the right direction. Obviously, last weekend without any football, meaningful football, I should say. So just come check out the shows at 5:00 with Ghost and I. Make sure you get on his picks at Tony's picks. And that's about it. Just look for my picks in about an hour or so. They'll be out.
Yeah, you got anything to promote out there? Your sites or anything like that with where your picks, so let everybody know where they can find all your information at.
Yes. Grass Guy 0313 on both platforms, locals and X. 5:00 every day during the week. and then Saturday show with cricket. That's about it, guys. Just
Yeah.
keep following along. We're getting new followers all the time. I love it, and can't wait for football season. That's all I gotta say. Can't wait for
And you guys know where to find me on all platforms. It goes to Win Sports. Also, all my exclusive Premier action is now over at Tony's Picks. Just look for my name like right there under the subtitle here, which says Todd Guns at Tony's Picks. You will find all my action over there now. I post just pretty much Premier Steam plays over there now, just because that's the way I don't like to get things in too early. I know there are people out there that do buy picks and like it to have the stuff early, but I feel the best information you can get is within that 60 to 90 minute window. Anything after that is noise. But if things keep moving and they're still the same way up to that 69, 90 minute window, nothing's really going to change except for noise. So you can catch all my action over there. From now on over at Tony's Picks. You'll see everything there, my records and everything like that. I was the number 5 capper over there yesterday. Right now, I'm in the top 5 for the 7-day window. So we're going to try to keep this going over there, try to get some more exposure over there. Do appreciate anybody that pops over there. I know yesterday on the morning show, the baseball, the morning rundown over at Tony's Picks, Blue happened to be in the chat yesterday. Appreciate you, Blue, for popping in over there. Stay tuned next week. I will be on the drive-through a couple days next week over at Tony's Picks, which starts at 6 p.m. Eastern. So he'll be sending me a link over there. I'll be popping in for about 5 or 10 minutes and popping out. That's kind of like what the drive-through is. Just cappers pop in there, give a little takes here and there, and then pop out. So catch me over there next week. I will try to let you guys know which days I will be in there. But appreciate all you guys coming over here at a short notice over on the Rumble and YouTube side. Good luck on all your wagers today. Good luck to you as well, Grass Guy. And we'll catch you guys later, and hopefully over on the roundtable tomorrow morning with Will. All right, you guys, we're out. Appreciate it very much for you guys being here. All right. Have a great day. Good luck on your wagers.